It's allergy season here at St. Ambrose, or rather I should say it's Easter season, and we're getting ready for the celebration of Easter Sunday, and there are way too many readings between the Vigil and Easter Sunday itself to really open things up in a deep way. But you know, in general, the Easter Vigil readings are just awesome, from creation through the Exodus, through the prophets, ultimately culminating with the story of Jesus' resurrection. Now, what I want to mention is St. Paul's letter to the Romans that we hear at the Easter Vigil. And he says, brothers and sisters, you need to consider yourselves dead to sin and alive in Christ. And you know, he references the fact that, you know, death no longer has power over Christ. Well, it's the same for us too. You know, in our conversion, you know, sin ought never to have power over us, and we ought to live our lives as if we are dead to sin. You know, a person alive in Christ leaves behind, you know, those things that separate them from Christ. So it's just a definitive, mindset. It's a definitive way of life, a definitive connection of actions that, you know, we are about a life in Christ, not a life in sin. And I think as we celebrate this Easter season, it's just to take that on ourselves. Now, really, you know, a little bit ago, I was just reflecting, looking through Holy Week towards Easter Sunday. And every year I go over to my grandmother's house on Easter Sunday afternoon. And, you know, my family, my extended family say, oh, Andy, your life must be so hard during Holy Week. And I'll say, yes, my life is so hard during Holy Week. And I was thinking about it, like, you know, how much better would it be if when they said your life must be so hard, these days must exhaust you, how much better would it be if I didn't, you know, just acknowledge that part, but told the story from the perspective of resurrection? You know, what a blessing it was to share in this experience. You know, what a blessing it was to be able to minister to these people in their time of need. What a blessing it was to be able to do extra liturgies during the Triduum, you know, whatever it is, you know, like, just hold that up to you as an example. You know, I'm not necessarily great at that, but, you know, none of us are either. And I want to hang my hat on the times it happens, because we should be telling our stories from the standpoint of resurrection, because we are changed in the Lord and we have left sin behind. We need to live definitively in the light of Christ that comes forth from that empty tomb. So tell your story from the standpoint of the resurrection, not just the cross. You know, Jesus has lifted you out of darkness and given you light, so live your life with it, completely changed and transformed in Him.